Imagine waking up tomorrow and, for the first time, nothing rattles you. No traffic jam sends you into a rage. No curt email twists your gut into knots. No unexpected setback steals your peace. What if you could meet every challenge with calm confidence, every curveball with unshakable clarity? Today, you'll learn how. Welcome back to the channel. If you're like most of us, you've felt your emotions hijack you, snapping at loved ones, dwelling on mistakes, or spiraling into worry over things you can't control. And afterward, regret, guilt, that sinking feeling that you gave up your power. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be this way? The Stoics of ancient Rome faced war, betrayal, and plague, and yet they built minds so disciplined they stayed calm in the eye of any storm. Here's the truth. If you don't control your emotions, they control you. Over the next minute, or by the end of this video, you'll discover 10 powerful Stoic lessons that will forever change how you see and manage your emotions. These aren't mere quotes to pin on a wall. They are time-tested tools to reclaim your peace, sharpen your focus, and live with freedom, no matter what life throws at you. But first, let's make a promise. In the comments, type, "Starting today, I am in control of my emotions. I am Stoic." That single declaration is your first act of discipline. Every time you see it, you'll remember. You're choosing reason over reaction. Ready? Let's begin. Lesson 1. Audit the source of your emotional reactions. Imagine you're driving home after a long day. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Instantly, you feel a wave of anger. Your heart rate jumps. Your jaw tightens. You think, how dare they? But stop for a moment. Was it really the event that made you angry? Or was it what you told yourself about the event? The Stoics taught something simple but profound. It's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. The car cutting you off didn't cause your anger. Your belief that it was a personal insult did. That short, cold email from your boss? It didn't make you anxious. It was your belief that something must be wrong. That friend who didn't text back? Your sadness came not from silence, but from the meaning you attached to it. Here's where you begin to take control. When you feel an emotion rising, whether it's anger, fear, shame, or sadness, pause, just for a moment. Breathe. Then ask yourself, what belief is behind this feeling? You might be surprised at what you find. Often, it's not the present moment that's upsetting you. It's a story from the past, a fear about the future, an expectation that wasn't met. Start writing these moments down. Keep a small journal. Record what triggered you, how you felt, and most importantly, what you believed about it. You'll begin to see patterns. Some beliefs might be unreasonable, others outdated, some not even yours, just handed to you by parents, teachers, or culture. This is how you begin to reclaim your power. Not by suppressing emotions, but by understanding them. Because here's the truth. You are not your first reaction. You are what comes after. The awareness, the question, the choice. And every time you pause to examine, you strengthen that part of you that stays calm, steady, and free. Lesson 2. Practice anticipatory detachment. Premeditatio malorum. Picture this. A soldier doesn't wait for war to train. An athlete doesn't step onto the field without practice. They prepare ahead of time, mentally and physically, so that when the real moment comes, they're ready. The Stoics believed the same should be done for the mind. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. But don't let the name fool you. This isn't about being negative. It's about being ready. Let's say you wake up and think, What could go wrong today? Maybe a meeting will be tense. Maybe someone will cancel plans. Maybe traffic will be worse than usual. Now imagine those things happen, but you already saw them coming. Instead of being surprised and thrown off, you stay calm. Why? Because your mind was prepared. This practice only takes 2 minutes a day. In the morning, before the chaos begins, close your eyes. Picture 1 or 2 small challenges that might show up. A delay, a rude comment, a missed deadline. Then, this is the key. Imagine yourself handling it well. Breathing deeply, staying composed, responding with clarity. You're not hoping for these things to happen. You're simply rehearsing how you'll respond if they do. That's the power of anticipatory detachment. You stop being shocked by life's bumps. You stop being fragile when things don't go your way. And no, it's not pessimism. It's strength. It's emotional armor. Because when you've already walked through the storm in your mind, the real one doesn't shake you nearly as much. Lesson 3. Name your emotions to gain control. Have you ever been in a moment where you snapped, and afterward you weren't even sure why? Maybe someone cut you off in traffic or said something rude, and before you knew it, your heart was racing, your voice was raised, and your peace was gone. That's what happens when emotions take over without warning. But here's the secret the Stoics discovered. If you can name the emotion, you can begin to control it. Let's say you feel that familiar heat rise in your chest. Instead of reacting, pause. Take a breath, and simply say to yourself, "This is anger." That tiny sentence changes everything. It puts you in the observer's seat. Suddenly, you're not drowning in the emotion. You're watching it. You've created space between the feeling and your response. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your emotions are not who you are. They are passing clouds, not the sky itself. When you name them, this is fear, this is sadness, this is jealousy, you remind yourself, I am not this emotion. I am the one noticing it. This isn't about pretending the feeling isn't there. It's about bringing it into the light. Because once you name it, you take back the power to choose what happens next. That's emotional freedom. That's the Stoic path. Lesson 4. Practice voluntary discomfort. We live in a world built for comfort. Warm beds, fast food, instant replies, endless entertainment. Almost everything is designed to keep us from feeling even the slightest bit uncomfortable. But here's the problem. The more we depend on comfort, the weaker we become. The Stoics understood this long before smartphones and soft pillows. They believed that if you never train your mind to deal with discomfort, even small problems will feel overwhelming. Seneca, one of the most well-known Stoics, would sleep on the floor and wear rough clothes on purpose, even though he was wealthy. Not because he liked suffering, but because he wanted to prove to himself that he could handle it. He asked, "Is this what I feared?" It was his way of saying, if I can face this by choice, I won't be broken by it when it comes without warning. You can apply this today in small, powerful ways. Take a cold shower, not to punish yourself, but to strengthen your mind. Skip a meal, not to harm your body, but to remind yourself you're not a slave to hunger. Delay buying that thing you want, not because you can't afford it, but because you want to master your desires, not be mastered by them. These small acts build something rare: emotional independence. You start to realize that your peace doesn't depend on everything being easy. And an unexpected bonus? gratitude. When you choose to go without, you start to deeply appreciate the little things. Warm food, a soft blanket, even silence. Voluntary discomfort makes life richer, not poorer. And it turns your mind into something few people have anymore. Strong and steady, even when life gets hard. Lesson 5. Use the view from above for perspective. Have you ever stared so closely at a problem that it felt massive, like it filled your entire world? That's what happens when we forget to zoom out. The Stoics had a technique for this: the view from above. It's a simple but powerful practice. When emotions start to take over, when something feels too big, pause and imagine yourself rising above it. Picture this. You're looking down at yourself from the ceiling of the room, then from the roof of your house. Now, you're floating above your neighborhood, your city, higher and higher until you're in space. From up there, Earth is just a small blue ball, and your problem? It's just one tiny moment, in one small life, on one spinning planet. This isn't to say your feelings don't matter. They do. But from that higher view, they lose their grip. You start to see that what felt urgent might not be important, that what seemed like the end of the world isn't. Marcus Aurelius used this practice daily. He reminded himself that thousands of people before him had faced the same struggles, and thousands more would after. His problems weren't unique, and that helped him stay calm. The view from above doesn't remove your problems. It just shrinks them to their true size. It reminds you that you are more than this moment. You are part of something vast, something timeless. And from that place of perspective, you can breathe again. You can respond, not react. You can move forward, clear and calm. Lesson 6. Question the utility of your emotions. Every emotion you feel is trying to tell you something. But that doesn't mean every emotion deserves your full attention. The Stoics taught us to pause and ask one powerful question. Is this emotion helping me act wisely? Or is it just clouding my judgment? Take anger, for example. It might feel powerful in the moment, but does it help you solve the problem? Or does it just push you to say things you later regret? Or anxiety, does it prepare you or does it paralyze you? Jealousy, does it inspire growth or does it eat away at your peace? The Stoics didn't say we should be emotionless. They believed in emotional clarity. Think of emotions like tools in a toolbox. A hammer isn't bad, unless you're using it to fix something that doesn't need to be hit. The same goes for emotions. If fear makes you cautious before a big decision, that's useful. But if it keeps you frozen when you need to act, it's just noise. So the next time you feel an emotion rising, don't resist it, but don't obey it blindly either. Ask, is this useful? If the answer is no, thank it for showing up and let it go. That's how we take back control. That's how emotions stop being tyrants and start becoming tools. Lesson 7. Embrace the dichotomy of control with focused action. A lot of people hear about Stoicism and think it means doing nothing, just sitting back and accepting whatever happens. But that's not true. Stoicism is not about apathy. It's about focused action, doing what you can, where you are, with what you have, and letting go of the rest. The Stoics taught what's now called the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, our thoughts, our choices, our effort, and some things are not. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, the outcome of our efforts. Picture an archer. She trains for years. She steadies her breath, pulls back the bow, aims carefully, and lets the arrow fly. Everything up until the release is in her control, but the wind, the target moving, The result, that's out of her hands. The wise archer puts all her energy into the shot, not the outcome. It's the same for us. You can prepare for a job interview, speak with clarity and confidence, and still not get the offer. You can love someone deeply, and they may still walk away. Focus on your aim. That's where your power is. Let go of what happens after. Because peace is found not in controlling everything, but in knowing what's yours to control. Lesson 8. Internalize oikeiosis, align with your rational nature. The Stoics had a word for the deep process of coming home to your true self, oikeiosis. It means aligning with your nature, and for human beings, that nature is reason, virtue, and clarity, not impulse, not chaos. Think about it like this. When you act out of anger, envy, or fear, don't you feel off-center? Like you're being pulled by something outside of you? That's because you're moving away from your true nature. The Stoics believed that the more we return to reason, the more we live by wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, the more peace we experience inside. This doesn't mean becoming robotic or emotionless. It means gently realigning, moment by moment, when you're pulled off course. Like steering a ship back on path when the wind drifts you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." For him, being a good person wasn't a side hobby. It was his full-time profession. And when you start seeing emotional mastery as part of becoming who you were always meant to be, calm, clear, and in control, you begin to feel it not as a burden, but as a return, a coming home. Lesson 9. Use the oblique strategy of response delay. Imagine you're in a tense moment. Maybe someone just insulted you, or an email hits you the wrong way. Your pulse rises, your thoughts race. This is where most people slip, reacting too fast, saying or doing something they regret. But the Stoics taught a powerful move that changes everything. The pause, a small delay, a breath, a moment to let your higher mind step in. You don't have to respond instantly. In fact, one of the most powerful phrases you can train yourself to use is, "Let me think about that." Or even just silently say to yourself, "Pause and consider." These few seconds give space for wisdom to speak before ego takes over. Even a simple action, standing up, walking to get a glass of water, or taking 3 deep breaths, can act like an emotional reset button. It might feel small, but in that space, you go from reacting to responding, from being a slave to your emotions, to becoming their master. That pause is not weakness. It's a quiet kind of power, the kind that avoids regret and keeps you grounded in who you want to be. Lesson 10. Turn setbacks into Stoic drills. Picture this. You're running late and then you spill coffee on your shirt. Frustration rises. You want to snap, to complain. But what if, just for a moment, you saw this not as a problem, but as practice? This is the Stoic way. Every setback, every emotional challenge is a drill, a chance to train your character. Like a soldier doesn't grow strong without resistance, your calm, your patience, your humility, they only strengthen through real-life trials. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That moment of anger, practice patience. That sting of criticism, practice humility. That disappointment, practice resilience. Next time life hits hard, pause and ask yourself, what virtue is this asking for? Then act with intention. Not because it's easy, but because that's how mastery is built. One challenge at a time, one drill at a time. You're not being tested, You're being trained. Let's take a moment to breathe and reflect. We've explored 10 powerful Stoic lessons today, each one a step toward emotional mastery. You've learned to audit your reactions, to mentally rehearse challenges, to name your emotions, and to train through discomfort. You've practiced zooming out for perspective, questioning the usefulness of your feelings, and focusing only on what's in your control. We've discussed realigning with reason, the power of pause, and turning every setback into training. Remember this: Stoicism isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming better, stronger, calmer, freer. And like any discipline, it grows with practice. These tools are not meant to be used once, but daily, quietly, consistently. If you do, you will feel it. Not just a change in how you respond, but in who you are. Write in the comments. Which lesson will you start practicing today? Will you begin by naming your emotions or practicing discomfort? Let's share and grow together. And if you found value here, subscribe for more ancient wisdom, adapted for modern strength. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Start your Stoic journal tonight. And remember, every challenge is a chance.